MH370. What really happened that night? It was supposed to be a routine flight, 239 people, a Boeing 777, one of the safest aircraft ever built. But on March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 simply vanished from the skies. No distress call, no clear explanation, just a long, haunting silence that continues even today. This isn't just a story about a missing plane. This is a story about confusion, heartbreak, and the limits of modern technology. Join us as we dive deep into the chilling disappearance of MH370. Flight MH370 departed Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 12:41 a.m., bound for Beijing Capital International Airport. On board, 227 passengers and 12 crew members. Most were Chinese citizens, with others from Malaysia, Australia, Indonesia, India, and beyond. Captain Zaharieh Ahmad Shah, a seasoned pilot with over 18,000 flight hours, was in command. His co-pilot, Farik Abdul Hamid, was younger but experienced. Everything seemed normal. At 1:19 a.m., as the aircraft crossed into Vietnamese airspace, air traffic control made contact. The last words heard from the cockpit were, "Good night, Malaysian 370." Seconds later, the plane disappeared from civilian radar. But here's the twist. Military radar still tracked the plane. It made a sharp left turn, flying back across the Malaysian peninsula and then out over the Andaman Sea, far off course. No one knows why. After it left radar coverage, MH370 continued flying for another 6 hours. How do we know? Because it was still handshaking with an Inmarsat satellite system every hour. These weren't location signals, but simple digital check-ins. Yes, I'm still here. Based on the timing of these signals, experts calculated two possible flight paths. One heading north toward Central Asia, one heading south into the vast Indian Ocean. The northern path was ruled out. There were no radar sightings or wreckage found over land. So the attention shifted to the southern Indian Ocean, one of the most remote areas on Earth. At 8:19 a.m., roughly 7 hours after takeoff, the final ping was received. Then, nothing. What followed was one of the largest, most expensive search efforts in aviation history. Over 26 countries joined the hunt. Ships, aircraft, submarines, satellites, all were deployed. But the area was vast, larger than the size of the UK, and the ocean depths reached over 4,000 meters. In 2015, a flaperon, part of the wing, washed up on Réunion Island, east of Madagascar. Later, more debris was found along the coasts of Mozambique, Tanzania, and South Africa. All were confirmed to be from MH370. But no sign of the fuselage, black boxes, or the main wreckage was ever found. With limited evidence, theories began to emerge, some reasonable, some wild. Let's look at the most discussed. Number 1. Pilot suicide. Many believe the captain may have deliberately taken the aircraft off course and crashed it into the ocean in a carefully planned act. Supporting details. He had flight simulator data at home showing a similar route into the Indian Ocean. The sudden course change occurred after co-pilot Farik's final communication. No attempt to contact ATC, no squawk code, no distress. Still, the official report did not name Zahari as responsible, citing lack of hard evidence. Number 2. Hijacking. Could it have been a hijacking? 2 Iranian men on board had stolen passports, but they were later cleared. No group ever claimed responsibility. The flight path change required knowledge of cockpit systems, unlikely for amateurs. Number 3. Mechanical or electrical failure. Could there have been a fire or cabin depressurization? Some speculate the pilots were incapacitated and the plane flew on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. But if that were the case, why the deliberate turns? Why switch off communications? Number 4. Military accident or cover-up. Some conspiracy theories suggest the plane was shot down, intentionally or by mistake, and the incident was covered up by military powers. There's no direct evidence, but the lack of transparency, especially early in the investigation, has fueled suspicion. In 2018, the Malaysian government released its final report. It stated, "The team is unable to determine the real cause for the disappearance of MH370. It criticized air traffic control failures, inconsistencies in radar handoffs, and lack of coordination." But ultimately, the mystery remained unsolved. Private company Ocean Infinity conducted a second major underwater search in 2018 to 2019, covering over 120,000 square kilometers, but found nothing. In 2024, discussions reignited about reopening the search using newer underwater tech. But as of now, over a decade later, the plane still hasn't been found. Behind the headlines are real people, families who still don't know what happened to their loved ones, children who grew up without parents, wives and husbands left in limbo. Many feel the search was abandoned too soon, that political or financial interests prevented deeper investigation, that the truth is being withheld. Every year on March 8th, vigils are held, names read aloud, balloons released. And one question lingers: where is MH370? The disappearance of flight MH370 exposed major gaps in aviation safety and global coordination. It forced changes to tracking systems and emergency protocols, but it also reminded us of something deeper. Even in an age of satellites, radar, and real-time communication, some things can still go missing. And until we find MH370, we'll never truly know what happened during those final, silent hours.